Dim gray-blue light outlined row upon row of steel monoliths brooding in the shadows as banks of tiny green and orange status lights blinked across their faces. The temperature hung at a constant 43 degrees as each server pumped terabytes of data through miles of cables. Collectively, the low hum of their cooling fans sounded like a distant roar as they inhaled the cold air across their processors. Sergeant Major Jack Tate and Sergeant Tyler Rossi stood next to the exit door as silent sentinels, ignoring their shivering as they stared intently at a pair of legs sticking out below a distant server. The legs disappeared inside the eviscerated belly of the server, occasionally shifting as their owner struggled for a comfortable position. Sergeant Brett Monkhouse's slim build didn't provide much padding against the unforgiving metal struts of the server's shell, making him wince as he propped his elbow on the hard angles. Using his free hand, he traced a yellow data cable through a confusing knot of identical cables leading beyond his view. "Wesson, I'm trying another lead," grunted Monkhouse into his radio as he struggled to fasten a clip to the yellow cable. "Standing by," crackled Wesson's voice in his earpiece. A narrow bundle of wires ran from the clip into a small flat display about the size of a pack of cards. Far away, Sergeant Lori Wesson sat transfixed at a desk, her face lit by the blue-white static on the monitor in front of her. Her pale green eyes searched the screen until bold characters began marching across the bottom of the screen. "I got it," she said. "Look for the SUID," said Monkhouse, "and give me the code that follows it." Wesson scanned her finger over the screen, slowly filling with a jumble of meaningless symbols, numbers, and letters. "Found it. SUID 55 Charlie 0. Monkhouse swore under his breath. "Are you sure that's a 0 and not the letter O like Oscar?" "The specified unique identification has to be—" "I know the difference," Wesson cut in. All right, said Monkhouse as he took the clip off the data cable. "That leaves one cable left." "Then that's got to be it," said Wesson, encouraged. "If this is the right server," said Monkhouse. Wesson frowned at her watch. The simple but durable device indifferently counted down the minutes. "We're running out of time." Monkhouse ignored her as he stretched to put the clip on another data cable. "It's not like they put big signs on them saying, 'Tap this line,'" he said. He was feeling the effects of the cold and contortions he performed to access the data interface. His hands were tired and his fingers beginning to cramp. Tate's eyes shifted to the door in alarm as his ears picked up the distant sound of bootsteps in the hallway. At the end of the hallway, Shelp came around the corner and stopped at the first door. Automated lights came on, illuminating several plain doors lining the hall. Shelp slung his assault rifle over his shoulder as he fished his key card out of his pocket and held it up to the door's security sensor. With a chirp, the sensor glowed green, and the guard heard the electronic lock slide open. With one smooth movement, he swept the assault rifle up, bracing the stock against his shoulder. He quickly turned the doorknob and pushed the door open to the darkened room. He thumbed the switch to the underbarrel flashlight mounted to his gun, stabbing the darkness with a brilliant, stark white beam that made him squint. Looking down the barrel of his rifle, he panned the room until he was satisfied there were no intruders. Down the hallway, Tate heard the door close and the sound of the guard's boots walking to the next door. Rossi nodded grimly, acknowledging he heard it too, and shrugged his broad shoulders, prompting Tate for direction. "Monkhouse," whispered Tate into his radio. "We have to abort." "Are you kidding?" said Monkhouse. "I'm just getting the sensor on the last cable." "We can't abort," hissed Rossi. "Rossi's right," said Wesson over the radio. The electronic shielding of the building walls made it hard to hear her radio signal, but there was no mistaking the tension in her voice. "This is the only shot we have." Outside, Tate heard another chirp as the guard unlocked the next door.